Om Shanti. So welcome all to the workshop. Stay committed. So as always, before we begin, take a few minutes and reflect on this value of commitment. Asking myself, am I really committed to what I want to do? Really committed to not only my logic, physical commitments, also towards my spiritual logic commitments. Since I have begun the spiritual journey of myself, do I really feel commitment towards my spiritual life or journey is appropriate? So in all these few questions, let's explore today the value of commitment in depth. Particularly so about, not so much about my logic commitments, but more so about logic spiritual commitments. So today's episode actually, very divine coincidence, I must say again as always, it's dedicated to the World Youth Skills Day, which very much falls on this day, July 15th. And we know how the youth are committed to their professions. They have just started their life journey on the road. Many also have entered, many youth also have a big journey they have started as well. So today's day is all about them. The Buddies, we have something called the Youth Wing of Brahma Kumari. We had a lot of programs all over India happening related to this theme, World Youth Skills Day. Let's see how much skills we can inculcate today from the workshop. So let's just stop the music and we'll go further. So welcome all of you. Welcome to Sister Anu and Sister Priyal, both of us. Both of these would be the co-facilitators for today with me. And also we have a beautiful team of tireless servers, I must say all the time, the interpreters. We have it in 4 languages, 4 to 5. You can click the interpretation icon. Just a moment. I'm so sorry. Traffic control went on. Okay. Yeah, so let's begin the journey. As always, we'll start with a small icebreaker, a very simple icebreaker video about 2 young kids at school trying to be committed to something, some project which they are supposed to work on. So let me just, rather than speaking, show you the video. These are our workshops. We are soon approaching 70. So we are really becoming ancestors now on this journey. And it's heartening to know that all of you are with us in this journey for almost around 3 years. We'll be completing soon. So let's begin this icebreaker video. I would request all of you, around 46 of us, to watch this and then we'll come up with some.
Just a reminder, the Upton Science Fair is in 3 weeks. That's not a lot of time, so you better be working hard.
I need to get going on building that robot for the science fair. I know, I could get Theo to help me. He's so good with computers and tech stuff. Hey, Theo, wait up! I'm trying to build a robot for science fair. Could you help me?
Okay, but you have to be committed to build a robot.
Well, I've done a few things, but I haven't had time to really finish anything, and I don't understand programming.
If we commit to this project, we'll work every day after school until it is finished. I can help you with the programming too. This is a huge commitment. Are you ready for it?
You bet! We got it built, Theo. Now all we need is the coding to make it work.
Okay, now let's get started coding.
2, 5, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is so hard, I feel like my brain's gonna explode.
Don't give up, Ryan. You're really getting the hang of this, and we're almost finished.
Come in.
Hey Ryan, a bunch of us are meeting at the park. Do you want to come?
No thanks, Gerald. Me and Theo are really committed to this robot for science fair. And if we stop now, it won't finish itself.
And now the top winners of our Upton Science Fair. Ryan and Theo with an amazing project where they built a working robot.
Okay, so wonderful. Let me stop sharing the screen. We have a few minutes, 3-4 minutes for your sharings. Quick chat box sharings about insights gained from the video. All of you seem to be pretty silent nowadays with the icebreaker video, right? So I think I am not seeing the chat box, sorry, yeah. Okay, so Balwinder Kaur, as always, thank you for starting, making the icebreaker work. Consistent hard work, done always pays off. Fantastic. Okay, values, what's your name? I don't know, but it speaks of itself. He or she is saying. The video is self-explanatory very much, yeah. Any other thing which was not there in the video which you all want to speak related to commitment? You can type it, yeah. Okay, Sister Swati, thank you. They're saying the kids were steady on their objective, yes. Rehna, sister, avoid distractions, of course, yes. Mr. Priyal saying you need a strong will, perfect, to achieve something in life. Okay. Yes, I think it pretty sums up. It was a fairly, yeah. So I think I'll just read this. Sangeeta sister says, I have seen people who are committed, but they don't have clarity to how to move forward. Okay. So I hope this video also showed you that, did it? Jujar Singh says commitment requires a little sacrifice, right? Sister Denise, you have to have a true desire to reach the goal, right? And someone can just translate that in Portuguese from Sister Lara. Anil Bhai is saying dedication, right? And Sister Gulden, we'll just give you a minute to share quickly the oral one because you have raised your hand. Please go ahead. Okay.
Yes. To get or to success, to have success, we need some requirements so that these are all commitments. We have to do these commitments to reach the destination, to reach the success. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being so sweet and brief. Again, walk your talk, Sister Shweta saying, Anil Bhai, actually, thank you. We are introducing and trying to promote our next value, the next values workshop and talk, dedication. So values is again saying focusing on one goal helps a lot. Sorry, hope I'm not sounding confusing. This person is values, like his or her name is values. So please, if you can change your name so that people don't get confused. And I'll just read the last two. Committing is to promise yourself and to keep that promise. So that was Sister Lara's in Portuguese. And again, Balvinder Kaur is very happy. She's saying, yeah, in the end. And it's all about, she's saying, if we're all committed for changing our negative to positive programming, then our individual transformations will definitely bring world transformation. And then all of us will be victorious. Wonderful. So with this, I would now pass it on to Sister Anu. Do you want me to share the screen for you?
Yeah,
or your...
if you can share the screen for me. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so you can go ahead. I'll just...
Right. So beautiful sharings. As from all the sharings, we need strong will, desire, that is all go hand in hand with commitment. So desire, clarity, and strong will. So without commitments, we don't exist. And every day we commit to doing something. But in the very first exercise, let's reflect on our own life to check in two levels the commitment that exists in our life. First is physical, particularly for yourself, your body, your bodily needs like rest, food, how you're feeling, like self-care, taking care of your body. I don't know if we really commit to that or we are carried away with the tasks, commitments of life. So reflect on that the commitment for your physical well-being, your body and bodily needs. And the second one on your spiritual well-being, that is how you're feeling, the emotional, the mental, stability, health, feeling happy, peaceful. Do you commit to that? So for the spiritual empowerment, so let's look at in these two levels in our lives, how do we commit to ourselves? What are our commitment levels? What is that you do? Physical and spiritual. I hope that's clear. So let's take a minute to reflect on and write down, then we'll invite your sharing. Thank you. Okay, so maybe you all have written down something, as it has also come up in the last talk. Mostly the commitment to the self was the most important aspect. So what are the commitments for your bodily needs, well-being, and spiritual well-being? I know in the chat I saw few, but anyone who would like to speak up, unmute and share? Can everybody unmute? Yeah, so now you can unmute. So anybody who'd like to share?
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Yes, please.
Likewise, I said that every morning we clean our room, clean our body. So it's very important that whenever we are going to wake up in the morning, we start our day with the prayers to give gratitude to the nature and with a one very beautiful thought that will carry forward the entire day.
Right.
Thank you, Om Shanti.
Beautiful sharing. right? The tasks throughout the day will become easy just with that simple commitment for the self. Good thought, gratitude for the nature, prayers in the morning, and clean the body, clean the room, clean the mind, clean your heart and soul. Thank you, Swati. Beautiful sharing. And
And maybe,
yeah,
yes, sister, maybe along those lines, just the gratitude as well for the new day, the new perspective, the new fresh chance to do it better,
yeah,
be with Baba in a better, do something pure level that I haven't tried before.
that's beautiful. Yes. So prayer to the divine and checking the self and saying today is a new, brand new day. What is that new I can do better than yesterday? That's beautiful too. Bring the yesterday to today. Otherwise, everything that was yesterday is gone. Today is a new start. Thank you so much, sister. What's your name?
As a spiritual being,
Yeah.
Gurdane is talking. As a spiritual being, we have to give love, peace, and smile to the people around us. As a logic being, we have lots of things to do physically, eating, cleaning, going to work, cleaning the house, cooking for your children. These are our commitments. First important thing, spiritual being, giving, smile, giving love, giving peace. This is my motto. This is my motto. Thank you.
That's beautiful motto. So that is the commitment, spiritual to the spiritual being and giving smile and love to all throughout the day. Commitments like start with me, the spiritual being, to the spiritual being. Beautiful, Golden. Thank you. I think I wanted to ask the name of the sister who shared just before. It was only your phone number was visible.
Yeah,
Priyal,
it's Sharon, sister. Sharon.
Karen? Okay,
Sharon.
Karen.
Yes. Sharon
So,
with a S8.
okay, Saren, S-A. So, Manoj brother, if you can,
S8. Yeah.
S-H, Sharon. Okay. So,
Om
Priyal
Shanti.
says,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Sharon. Lokik and alokik both read and churn to grow, right? Learning and learning every day. Dr. Manoj says, alokik, be more regular with my Amrit Vela meditation. Definitely, that is something that we want to make a commitment to make it perfect the way we want. So that was good. Thank you. Balvinder says, for body and nutritious food, exercise, 8 hours sleep. Okay. And for self, spiritual self, meditation, relaxation, self-empowerment, study self, cleaning strategies, constantly plus daily cleaning, right? Yeah, thank you, Sharon. Your name is changed now. Anyone else who would like to share? Sweta adds that exercise for low kick for the body and a low kick for the soul. It's the remembrance of the divine, the drill. Every moment, every day, who we are. Am I just my role or the spirit? Thank you, Sweta. Nice. So it's a good reminder what is the commitment for the self every day to start with. Is there anyone else who'd like to share? Unmute and share.
Om
Anything else?
Shanti,
Vijay brother. Om Shanti.
my dear brothers and sisters, please accept greetings of love, peace, and happiness. We must remember that we are a pure being who have taken this body like a Devi, like a Lakshmi Narayan. We have taken a avatar in this body. We must remember all the time that we are so elevated souls. So by our face, people who see us should get a positive energy of love, peace, and happiness. Means Sahaj Yogi, very easy effort maker to yoga, and the other people also get the feeling of yoga. So they also get connected to the higher being, and they also get the power to feel happy, peace, full of love, full of enthusiasm, full of zeal, and give positive energy all along. This is from start of Amrit Vela till we sleep and then again talk to God. Om Shanti.
Beautiful. So Amrit Vela is that early morning meditation. If there are people who are new to Brahma Kumaris, so the morning meditation or that self-reflection or that self-time with God is most important. And that's right, Vijay Bhai, thank you for sharing that being aware of me as a spiritual being and keeping my energy in that high level, sharing, then I can share easily the positive energy, the love, the smile, that others are empowered. That's a beautiful commitment to the self, and we can share beautiful things with others. And then Lara says, bring to the self the awareness of soul consciousness and God's company. I think that is the basis. That should be the basis of our life. Then I'm sure it makes our life beautiful, our self, own life, as well as others. I think this is a beautiful start of the churning on commitment. Maybe we can just see it all. I would ask Brother Deepak to show it on the screen, whatever we noted down. Right, so these are the sharings from all of you, and many who might not have shared, you can still put in the chat. So what are my commitments to myself in the physical level and on the spiritual level? So clean your body every day, clean your room every day, and likewise clean your mind. Have pure thoughts and beautiful memories. Yeah, start with beautiful memories and read and churn to grow. Eating, cooking, going to work, etc. Leaving yesterday behind, starting fresh every day. I think that's a beautiful commitment in the morning. If we can start fresh, today is a new day, and what is something better I can do, as I think Sharon said. Exercise, meditation, more regularity in that early morning meditation, Amrit Vela, self-empowerment. Remember who we are elevated souls, and share that happiness and good vibes that spreads out of you, the soul, and awareness of soul consciousness in God's company. Beautiful sharings. Imran just shared, I'll just read that. It's a mindfulness and movement. Movement for the body, mindfulness is being mindful of this moment, what's happening around me, and being active to respond in my highest way. So yeah, that was beautiful. Thank you, everyone. Let's move on more deeper into this beautiful value of commitment. And I'll hand it over to Brother Manoj for that. Thank you.
So thank you so much. And I loved it, Brother Imran said it was really a spotter for the mind, mindfulness, and for the body movement. I mean, it's really amazing what you have said, Brother Imran. It just clicked me so much that for the body, we need to make sure that we are not in a static position for a long, long time. We need to be moving so that the body is healthy. And the opposite for the mind needs to be more static. When I mean static, I mean to say mindfulness, meditation, being more positive and being more still and calm and stable. So fantastic. I just love that. So let's move on to, so that's what I feel. Sometimes even someone sharing at the end can really take away, I mean, and you can really learn a lot from that sharing. So each one of you is fantastic in your sharings. Okay, so let's move on to, as always, we do a little bit of reflection and meditation before we move on to the action planning. So let's sit back.
I'm not sure if it is only me, but We can't hear your voice with the music. So Priyal or Nikhil, can you confirm that, or else make the
No,
music?
he's not visible. Sorry, he's not audible.
Not
Manoj cannot.
okay. So I'll just stop the music. Am I audible now?
Yes, yes, you're audible now.
I'll just do it silence. Thank you for pointing that out before I started. Thanks. Okay, so let's again relax. Take a deep breath and try to touch yourself inside into this consciousness of the energy that you are. Take a moment, feel that inner being, the energy. And as you do so, your mind really becomes more and more calm and stable. And in this calm state of mind, let me ask myself, am I committed to my spiritual goal? Am I committed in my relationship with the one supreme being? Or does my mind every now and then wander towards different people? And moving on further in this conversation, what is it that is lacking in my effort to achieve my spiritual goal or commitment towards the one supreme being? Sure, a few answers have come into the mind about what I am lacking. So can I fix this? Ask yourself. Of course I can. And let me reflect on this one change in my life from now onwards, which I will work upon to achieve my spiritual commitment and fix this which is lacking. And then finally, see yourself overcoming that issue or that thing, and see yourself next week, Monday onwards, that it was just one thought away. I have fixed that thing, and I am achieving that spiritual goal or commitment. So hope I was audible all through. And let's move on to the next activity. So I hope a little bit of teaser into the action planning with this spiritual reflection has happened. I'll just stop sharing the screen and over to Sister Pill. You want me to share the screen or you're okay doing it?
I think you should do it. Thank you.
I do it, yeah, sorry, because I have to play the music. Okay, so I'll just do it. So today it's my part to share all the time. So let's go further, yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Brother Manoj, for taking us through such a great meditation experience. Now moving on to the action planning. So today we'll be seeing ways to increase or improve our spiritual commitment. So as we all know, action planning gives us an opportunity to plan actions so as to be able to incorporate and inculcate the value that we are learning into our daily routine and actions. So take a few moments and think about and list down a few ways in which you can increase or improve your spiritual performance or commitment. So just take a few minutes. Can we have the music? I can't hear the music.
It's actually on.
Yeah, music is playing. Can hear.
You can hear, right?
No, yes.
Okay.
I can hear, so maybe it's working. It's okay.
We already have sharings in the chat box. We'll give another few moments and then we'll take the sharings. Okay. So is there anybody who would want to share? You can raise your hands and of course you can type in the chat box, but if there's anybody who would want to share, please raise your hand. Or maybe directly unmute yourself. Okay. Till the time, I'll read a few sharings from the chat box. So BKS MKL shares to give more time. And that is how we can increase our commitment towards our spiritual performance or commitments. Imran shares that he has an acronym that is SAVERS, which reminds him daily to stay committed. And the acronym is S is for silence, A is affirmations, V is visualization, E is exercise, R is read, and scribing or journaling. That is SAVERS. Amazing. Okay. BK Swati shares think, pause, and go. Dr. Ashok Mehta shares reduce other logic involvement and spend more time in deep silence. So that is the way of increasing and improving and giving more time to your spiritual commitments will help you improve the performance or maybe the commitments and your progress in the spirituality. Okay. Miva shares, be aware that I am an instrument of Baba constantly. That is, paying attention to your awareness will help you improve your spiritual growth. BKS shares, maintain regular chart. Yeah, that is something that is the physical way in which you can keep your progress in track as to how much you're doing and how much of the progress you have made. if I can share something from my experience, having certain groups, maybe a few people who are committed to, and then we decide, and then we are responsible to sharing what and how we are progressing in that particular way. So telling others that this is my goal and this is where we have reached may also help. Because Sweta shares, be honest in following timetable, especially accurate Amrit Vela, traffic control, and evening yoga. So keeping your timetable and following it is another way of staying committed. Guldain says to be calm, to approach with love, looking at the subject from a deep and broad perspective. Pavan shares, okay, that's the address. Okay. Vijaypal Bhai shares, first to know the truth for self, that is soul, via the point of light, and the supreme soul, that is God or supreme energy, ocean of virtues. And then follow to be in self swaroop, that is soul consciousness, with determination, purity in thoughts, speech, and action, with giving positive energy to all beings as being world benefactor, that is Kalyankari. Beautiful. Anybody who would want to go ahead and share? Sister Rena, please go ahead.
I think there has to be a balance between your Lokic and alokik responsibility. So for example, from my experience, I would say while I was not in Gyan, I was so committed to my work that I completely ignored my health, the food, exercise, all those things. So much that I fall sick and I had to, take injections and all for nutrition. So that is one thing. But after coming to Gyan, I've realized that this balance is not 50-50 on a daily basis, 50 alokik, 50 alokik. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes it's 60-40 or even 80-20. So wherever, there's a 20, that has to be your priority. So that is how I worked it out.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Like keeping a balance and also being practical about keeping a balance is also very important.
I think Imran wants to share something. Imran, you want to go ahead? Just your audio should be fine. Yeah.
Yeah, please unmute yourself, Imran. I can't really see.
I don't know whether I can. He's disappeared or what. I don't know. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Meanwhile, we'll just see the sharings in the chat box. So Pavan shares, in every world cycle, Baba has given me responsibility to burn the Lanka of Ravan, that is vices, and that is to me only. So Baba is the supreme soul that we are talking over here about, that he has given us the responsibility to destroy the vices that lie within us. Gita shares, who will do what, how, and when, with clear objectives and self-feedback of achievement. Okay. Lara has said, self-observe and talk to myself during the day, always focusing in on my determinations. That is another way, like looking towards yourself instead of looking beyond or looking outside to the other people will help you keeping your own commitments to the spiritual progress. Beautiful. Do we have Imran? Imran, would you want to go ahead and share?
No, I can't see him. Fatima, you want to share? You just, yeah.
On Shanti, I just coming now, so I catch just in the middle, and I don't listen all of the question. I'm terrible sorry, brother.
No
I
worries.
just coming now in the ring, and so I don't listen all the sisters say before. I am sorry.
No problem. Where are you joining from? Which country?
From Lisbon, Portugal, Lisbon.
Lisbon, okay. Portugal. Thank you. No worries. Sister Vidhi, you want
Portugal?
Yes, the practice is that I should be able to churn more of Murli points and actually practically apply in my life, in my daily actions. So which will help me remember Baba more and keep me empowered.
Beautiful. The churning helps. BK Anu sister is sharing, when feel any conflict or down in my heart, taking a few minutes pause to resolve through positive and kind thoughts, and carrying on with the fresh energy and responses. Again, that's stopping and then changing and then going ahead. That helps you to be committed. Pavan shares Karan Karavan, her Baba is doing everything and I'm only the medium. So keeping that awareness helps to stay committed. Beautiful. Okay.
We will take
So,
the share the slide. Yeah, thanks.
sorry.
Yeah, I was saying the slide can be shown, Deepak.
Yeah. We can have this slide. Okay. So beautiful points that we have been sharing, like for action planning. Again, think, pause, and go. That has been shared multiple times by a lot of speakers. Again, reduce your worldly involvement. Giving more time in deep silence will help you improve your commitments and progress in the spiritual path. So being aware that you are an instrument of God, constantly keeping that awareness and giving time, stopping in between, pausing, and then taking time to remind yourself of things again. Then we have got an acronym, SAVERS: silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, read and scribing or journaling. Balance between worldly and spiritual commitments, again, keeping a track of those things. Being honest and keeping the timetable. Observing yourself, talking to yourself during the day, and keeping yourself determined and focusing on your determinations. So those were the beautiful sharings that we had today for action planning. Now I'll give it to Dr. Manoj for the session. Thank you.
You right. So I was just doing some editing in the background. So you can see something which I've edited in the PowerPoint right now, and I'll start sharing. And in the meanwhile, if I can request the ones who have joined new, we can have many new people like Sister Fatima from Lisbon. So if you all want to share your addresses and your WhatsApp numbers, if you want to be a part of the workshops and the Values for Life series, so you all can please share that.
Yes.
Comfortable. Yeah.
Okay, I write.
Okay, thank you. So in the chat box to either everyone, if you are comfortable, or to Sister Vidhi or Anu. So that's, you can just type in there. Yeah, so let's go further. And as I said, I was doing some editing. I realized, I told you all, there were many people who were missing when we started the workshop. We're almost close to 100 now. So all of you, I just wanted to draw attention that it's the World Youth Skills Day today, July 15th, celebrated worldwide. This is to commemorate all the youth which we have, the youthfulness which we have inside ourselves. And I must say, though we have seniors with us like Dr. Mehta and Sister Claudia, but they still are very young at heart inside, and they still are really very youthful from the spiritual perspective, I must say. So this today's workshop is dedicated to commitment, and the youth, so much of commitment they have, not only in their Lokik life, but also we have a lot of youth serving in Brahma Kumaris. And again, in this Ludi, we had many programs all over India to our of Brahma Kumaris. If I can just request, I can hear some extraneous noises. You all can just keep yourself mute. Otherwise, it is disturbing for everyone. Okay, so we had our very two sweet brothers, Brother Eric, both Erics, C and K. And we had a wonderful conversation. I'm sure all of you enjoyed. So let's see what they had to say. Not many slides on what they said, but a lot of question and answers which were covered very well. So one of them said, commitment means that I'm going to do something. And it's basically an obligation. I have to do it, but it's not a burden. I mean, I should not be feeling pressurized by that. It's an obligation, but I should do it. And this obligation will impose restrictions, obviously. I have to decide, give priority, what I should do, what I should not do. But these restrictions will free me in one way. It's a very deep churning, actually. Brother Eric Larson said that. And the result of the commitment, he said, can become bigger than what you are committed for. And a beautiful line he mentioned, that make sure it is not about how do I do this, but about how do I get this done? Because sometimes when we speak of commitment, it burns down to, oh, I am committed, I have to do this. No, as a leader, as a team leader of the organization, I should also be knowing how to delegate responsibility to what needs to be carried out. And I need to supervise that if I am the leader. So how do I get this done so that I can be at a bit ease? Because I can't do everything. I need help from people to be done. And as a team leader, I need to delegate that. And also speaking on a deeper level, he said we have 3 levels of commitment. First is towards the self, towards others, and more importantly, towards God, because both these brothers are involved in a very big role, one for the USA, one for the Canada, and they are really serving the entire continent of North America in a very efficient way. So though they are churning sound very simple, but they are speaking from their experience. That's what I feel. How to remain committed? As few of you said, Sister Rehna mentioned, there has to be balance in everything we do. And I think the most important commitment forgotten is taking care of the self. And I would like to add here, taking care of the self. We only think of physical things like physical yoga, gardening, blah, blah, all that is written over there, exercise, playing. But we forget that I, the self, am the mind and the intellect and the personality. That self-care also sometimes is forgotten. So practicing mindfulness and meditation, and Brother Imran mentioned about the SAVERS technique, beautiful acronym. So we need to take care of self in various ways, and it's helpful to have a checklist all the time. Then they went on to mention that we take on a burden not because we have to do something, but because the way we fear about doing. So sometimes even before starting the act, we have that what you call performance anxiety. We are fearful whether we'll be able to do that, whether we'll be successful. In Brahma Kumaris, we are taught that if you are in a proper consciousness, in your soul consciousness, and you really start your activity, whatever you're doing, in the remembrance of the divine, there is no chance that you won't be able to succeed. So instead of thinking about what you have to do, think about that it's God's service I am on, and it is His task, and I am just merely an instrument for completing it. It was a beautiful way, a few pointers of how to remain committed. And this is the last slide actually for the sharing today, and then we'll go on to Q&A, question answers, what they answered. But this slide, I would like to focus you all on what Brother Eric Lareste said, the last line. It was about these 3 things. I just loved it, what he said, that for being committed, we first need to have courage. As we spoke about fearlessness a few weeks ago, the last month of June, celebrating our first administrative heads Memorial Day, that fearlessness, being courageous is a very important virtue. And only that can help me to be committed. And once I'm courageous, I can become committed. And along with this, when both these are there, then my vision is clear. And I am really able to achieve what I want. So my vision can become a reality. So that's what he said, the triad of success. He also mentioned make a commitment towards the self. And when we do that, it's very important that if someone is not able to do the work, what he or she has committed to, we have that. We have such people around us all the time, at workplace, at home. So let's not have any ill feeling for them. That's what they mentioned. Because we can really have our karmic accounts again being created with them by creating such thoughts of ill feeling or ill giving. So let's try to have those good wishes and pure feelings. That's what is taught here as well at Brahma Kumaris. Also, towards the self, we have to hold on to a sense of self-worth. Very important. I need to realize that I am the being, not the doing. The human being, what I am, the energy. And this soul consciousness state makes me feel very empowered. That's all of us have experienced. That when we feel disturbed, actually getting disturbed is body consciousness. Whereas if you're in soul consciousness, you're very stable all the time. So, and having this self-worth by various what we call swamans we practice here, that is points of self-respect. So once we are in that mode, success can become a part of your life easily. They mentioned commitment to self has to be greater than your commitment to God. I think it all starts with swerve first, the self. Because unless we are committed to self, getting committed to God is quite difficult. And they mentioned a few other qualities like honoring qualities of loyalty, dignity, friendship, cooperation, and kindness. These help us to commit to ourselves much more easily. So with this, I would now move on to the question answers. There were beautiful question answers which they were asked and they mentioned. So there was something about commitment to love. So the answer given for them was that not about romantic love, but it's about pure parental love. Something that is willing to sacrifice and also showing a deep love of commitment. And these two values, love and commitment, go hand in hand. If I am committed in a relationship, it's obviously with a lot of love. The next question was, how does one keep committed even when there is an adverse situation coming up? So the answer is very beautiful. If the outcome of the commitment is greater than the adversity of the situation, I mean, I should be able to do it. And they said, try not to lose sight of the achievement instead of giving up. So, oh, I have to really endure things. Mute yourself, please. Yeah, thank you. So, I should not be thinking about the adverse situation so much. If I know that I am on a task, God's divine task, and He is with me all the time, then success is guaranteed and the outcome is much more greater than the adversities. Then here there was a question about not only the IT world, we use this word deadlines. Even we have in our medical fraternity, the deadlines for something, some projects. So how is commitment different from achieving targets of meeting deadlines? That was the question. And I loved it, Brother Eric Laresti very humorously mentioned deadline means, oh, you're dead after you have finished that. So he was actually quite joking about that. But Brother Eric Larson mentioned that commitment is actually a very powerful word. It is much more than a deadline. And what he said, that commitment is for some higher purpose, for a very spiritual purpose, whereas deadline is something for a very routine physical task maybe. So meeting a deadline, he said, Eric Larson, may or may not be beneficial spiritually, but commitment is definitely for an elevated purpose. So that was an amazing revelation, though these words overlap, deadline and commitment.
Excuse me, Manoj Bhai, we are listening Hindi, not in English.
I'm so sorry. Just say it again, Sister Claudia.
We are listening in Hindi.
I think, no, it's fine. Maybe check, Sister Claudia, if you are in the Hindi room. Because
no, I'm not in Hindi room, English room.
Maybe click on the...
I start listening to Shika Ben.
I think we all are listening English only. Anyone else? Sister Claudia, just check if you can click on original audio on the interpretation, and if you still hear Shika, sister, then we have to do something.
Well, no worries. So should I go on? I'll continue.
Now I can hear in English. I did not change. I still English now.
All good.
Right. Sorry for that. So let's move on. I'm sure I have a few more minutes here. So just check, Sister Anu, or maybe Brother Nikhil, whether Brother Yogesh has joined.
Yeah, he's there already.
Thank you. So let's move on to the next two questions. I think they are the last ones. Yeah, there are three more. So a very next beautiful question was, if someone is not having an attitude of gratitude for your service, should you keep doing that service? I think we all of us have to ask ourselves. The answer is very obvious. Am I doing this service just for getting gratitude from people? Not really. So I think I'm doing it for a divine purpose. So let me just be thankful to the Supreme, actually, because He's making me an instrument for that and He's using me for that. So it's really important that I am being used. So I must really thank the divine for that. And it doesn't really bother me if someone else is not thanking me. The next question was, can you speak about all the personal benefits excuse me, you get from all the commitments? And does your relationship with God improve by completing his task? So I think Brother Eric Larson had said that all of us know at Brahma Kumaris that we are taught this, that the world is really going through a very tough time and transformation is happening. So I am willing to help out in God's divine task. I am able to see the people and the world in future because God is giving me a chance to look at it. And I do not think there's anything else that I'd rather be doing, frankly. So that was the answer given for this question. And I'll just take the last one, again, an interesting one. We have this very routinely at workplace that I cannot accept people at workplace who aren't committed to their work. And it puts all the burden on me. So how do I really handle this burden? So again, the answer was by increasing another commitment towards the self, and that I'll help others to become better. So again, such an elevated thinking, it emits or comes from the basic root feeling of having good wishes and pure feeling for others. I know people are not able to commit to what they were supposed to, but can I still help them to become better? And I think here I must say that it is moving from expectations to acceptance. First of all, accept people as they are. The first commitment to my own job is to do what I'm asked to do, regardless of the people around me or the situation. And I can take it as my responsibility to help people become better. So I may not be successful in making people better, but I can really try to do that with my pure wishes and good feelings. So I think we should just be able to motivate, encourage, and inspire people to do their bit. And I think that will help. I think rather than criticizing them, if we do this, they can come back to their commitment. That's what he said. Okay, so I'll just stop sharing the screen. So here we have our beautiful guest with us, Brother Yogesh. So if you can just spotlight him. Yeah, thanks. So before I go on to him, we all have been really eagerly waiting for you, Brother Yogesh, because you have been extremely busy with many other commitments, I know, but you are committed today. Thanks a lot. And also, he's joining from Turkey. It's now Turkey, no more it's Turkey. So I think apologies, we should just start writing it that way. And you all know him very well, but we have a few newcomers all the time. So he was born in Malawi, Africa, and very much an Indian background, and brought up in London and Oxford. And he has been, what I must say, a perfect facilitator and also a personal developmental trainer for over the last 20, 25 years. Has committed a lot of talks and a lot of workshops, and also at many organizations. The list is endless. I won't be going in that. And finally, what he says that his training comes from his training at Gyan Sarovar, which is the Academy for a Better World in Mount Abu, India. All of you know that. And also the Global Retreat Center in Oxford. And as we speak in the next Sunday, 23rd of July, the GRC, Global Retreat Center, will be re-inaugurated in a very grand way. So we are looking forward to that. So his training comes from both these places. And yes, as always, a poem for him. You have to bear with me, Brother Yogesh. So Brother Yogesh is the one who always strives to commit. That's because he facilitates with a lot of humor and wit. You'll experience that. By practicing Raj Yoga, he keeps himself spiritually fit, exuding the pure vibrations which he's able to transmit. He says, let the negative thinking from your mind take a permanent quit so that we can enjoy a life in unison without having any split. The mistakes from the past in our life, can we admit? Only then can we be able to remove them and omit. People say for each one of us, our destiny is already writ, and that we have to play a hero part like performing a skit, so that each one of us can earn in our karmic account to be able to remit and earn a lot of blessings and good wishes in each one's ambit. So with these few words and the poem, I would said it to you, all the stages first. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Manoj Bhai. All I can say is, kya baat hai. It is impossible to follow such a great presentation. You really should do this right at the end when, you know, people leave on a high note. So thanks again for all the efforts the entire team is making to continue all these values events. And thanks for having me back once again. And I listened to just a little of the summary of last week's sharing. And I was wondering, you know, what more can I add? Because you had a double Eric sandwich, which is very rich, nutritious. So what more can I say? Well, I began to just reflect upon my own experiences and relationship with this word commitment. So I'll just share what comes to mind from my own experiences. And it's one of those words which you can apply in different contexts. Generally speaking, if you ask a person, how do you understand commitment? What is commitment to you? Then they tend to default to commitment in relationship, commitment to a person, commitment in a marriage. And then they begin to speak about what that really means, a committed person in a marriage. But of course, there is much more to commitment than simply this. There can also be commitment to an organization, commitment to a club, commitment to a team, where a team player may, for example, sign a long-term contract, 5-year or a 10-year contract, and says, I commit myself to this team. I choose to give the next 5 or 10 years of my life for the success of the team. And then there is also commitment to a cause. And that's the one which particularly interests me. And if we look over history, we can find that people who did great things for their countries were committed to a cause. They believed in a cause, and they were prepared to withstand personal hardships in order to achieve perhaps independence or freedom for their nation, because they had a great sense of commitment. They were even prepared to perhaps give up their own life in order to achieve that goal. And so the two words come to mind, which I feel are big components of commitment. One of those is discipline, and the other is sacrifice. One reason why an individual may avoid commitment, may avoid signing on the dotted line, as it were, is because they are not prepared to make certain sacrifices. But yet, whether it's in personal success in your work, or creating a pleasant environment for your family, or even indeed on the spiritual journey, sacrifice is the partner of ambition. If you have an ambition to achieve anything, then a sacrifice has to be there as well. If you want something new, you have to let go of something old. That's just the way it is. That's the principle. That's the law. Now, we can see this, for example, in elite sports. Let's say somebody wants to be an elite sports person, top tennis player or an athlete who wants to win the gold medal in the Olympics. So the coach, the trainer, will tell that sports person, here is what you need to do. You need to give up eating this, that, the other, the things you like to eat. You have to give up perhaps late nights. You have to wake up time, give up your sleep. You have to practice these many hours every day. And so a huge sacrifice is involved. And there may be 10 people initially who say, I want to be the best. But when the coach places the conditions in front of those 10 people, 5 immediately say, it's too much. I can't do that, it's too much. 3 say, okay, let me try. Let me see how it goes. I'm going to give it my best shot. And they give up after a while. Then only 2 say, whatever it takes, I'm going to do it. And only 1 actually continues and completes and becomes the champion. And so it takes giving up, sacrificing your comforts, your pleasures in order to reach the goal. And it's a measure of your commitment to your aim. How committed are you really is visible when the chips are down, when the obstacles come, when the challenges come. Do I allow them to stop me, to divert me, to take me back to my comfort zone? Or do I keep going because my aim is clear to me? What helps us to generate this energy of commitment is clarity about, why am I doing this? How clear am I about my reasons for doing this, whatever that doing may be? Now, it's also possible that as we move on our journey towards reaching our aim, we can get distracted. And it is for this reason that to maintain commitment, it is important to revise our reasons. This is why I am doing this. Because it takes you to the very DNA of your soul. Makes you aware once again, this is why I have chosen to move in this direction. Let's have a look at what comfort zone means and why we choose to stay in the comfort zone and therefore avoid commitment. Well, a comfort zone is a place where you feel at ease, you feel relaxed, it's familiar. It's a place where you can stay for a long time. And in order to step out of the comfort zone, we have to be able to face the fear. I'd like to show 1 or 2 slides to help me to explain this. So let me see if I can just share screen here. All right, so here we are. I think you can see that. Let's just have a look at this one first. So here we are, comfort zone. You feel safe, you're in control, everything is hunky-dory, everything is just fine. And why we like to stay there, it's because outside of that comfort zone is the fear zone. Fear means anxiety, nervousness, tension, and who likes to feel that anyway? No one. But so what's happening is when we step into the fear zone, then we may find excuses to run back into the comfort zone. We may allow ourselves to be easily convinced by other people that this is not a good idea. You cannot do this. Why do you push yourself so much? And we can even be convinced by our own selves that, yeah, let me be more comfortable. And so we are very good in finding creative excuses to withdraw and return to the comfort zone. We also lack confidence in what we do. And so majority of people, let's say 90% of people, will experience the fear zone and say, nope, not for me, and they return to the comfort zone. But if we have the conviction, the focus, the courage to pass through the fear zone, knowing that this is a temporary transit phase, then we enter into zone 3, which is the learning zone. And there, it's as though your wings really begin to open. You're acquiring new skills to be able to do what you previously could not do. You find that the tricks, the tips, the techniques to be able to deal with challenges and problems, and you are no longer afraid of them. In other words, your comfort zone is expanding. What was previously uncomfortable is now comfortable. You can manage it because you have grown and you have developed new skills. As you continue to move in that direction, you then enter into what is shown here as the growth zone, or I would call it rather the thriving zone. This is where, like, your wings are fully open. You have found your raison d'etre. You're living your dream. You found your purpose. You've conquered, reached your objectives, and actually you're able then to set new goals to aim higher. And that's where you're living. If you stay in the comfort zone, you are existing. But when you're in the thriving or the growth zone, then you're actually living and you feel good about yourself. So in order to reach that, to step out of that comfort zone, there needs to be some focus and commitment. This is the direction that I want to go in. Now, there's another side to this. I was thinking, what's the other side of the comfort zone? What happens if you stay too long in the comfort zone? Well, I would say if we were to extend this diagram towards the left, then staying too long in the comfort zone takes you into the complacency zone. And complacency zone is where, you begin to take things for granted. You think, well, everything is going to be fine and there's no reason to do too much. Situations and circumstances will be okay. Nothing's going to really bother me. You take things for granted and you allow yourself to be convinced that there's no need to exert yourself too much. And then after the complacency zone, the next zone, I would say, would be the laziness and carelessness zone. And so that really is where, I am choosing to put my responsibilities to one side. I am choosing to avoid doing what I know should be done. And in fact, I start doing things which are detrimental to me. And then the final zone on the negative side, I would call that as the stagnation zone. Stagnation zone is literally where you begin to rot. That is where your potentials, your energy, your talents, your capability, your uniqueness simply stagnates and rots and decays. And so that's the price of staying too long in the comfort zone, is you reach that stage. And then, of course, you feel very frustrated with yourself because you're not living. You feel you've wasted time, wasted opportunities, wasted talent. And then there is a detrimental relationship with the self. So we have a choice. Where do we wish to go? And I think for all of us here on these talks, we want to reach the best within ourselves. And that's why we explore values. We explain today, the commitment is very much a part of being able to reach that stage where you are at full expression of who you are. One needs to be very clear and focused in order to be able to reach the goal. And especially in the current day, where there are so many attractions and distractions, it's possible for the energy of the mind to be pulled away. And so what happens there is we get defocused. Where we're defocused, then our plans and our ideas remain exactly that. So let's see if I can show you another image here. So here is an individual who has a lot of ideas about what he or she would like to do. So, each of these arrows represents an idea, some kind of plan. And he says, well, I want to change my life. I want to be more useful. I want to achieve certain things. I want to feel I'm living a meaningful life. And so I want, for example, I'll get some new qualifications. I'll do some evening course. Another one, maybe I'll learn to drive or I'll get a new car. Another one, perhaps I will learn a new language. Another one, I should think about maybe, changing my job or changing department in my organization. Another one could represent, just need to get a new group of friends in my life. Be in a different soil to bring a new kind of growth within me. So on and so forth. Lots and lots of different ideas. And 6 months later, when you meet this individual again, he or she will still have lots and lots of good ideas, but none of them will become practical. And that's because the energy of this person's mind is going in all different directions. So what to do? What does this person need in order to actually make these ideas practical? It needs some commitment to one idea. And that means saying yes to something, and therefore also saying no to lots of other things. Now, generally, it is found that we want to say a big yes to something and many small yeses to lots of other things. But those small yeses then simply waste our time and our energy and can even take us in the reverse direction to which we want to go to. So once again, underlining the importance of letting go and making the sacrifice. And that's what really makes the difference between people who reach the goal and people who think it would be nice to be there. I remember when I used to work in London and in Oxford, I was working for a while. And I would hear my colleagues often saying, I really don't like this job and I hate this job and I really should get a new job. But you would hear this month after month after month, in fact, year after year. And sometimes we would say, well, you have an option here. You know, the option is quit, find another job. But few people would actually do that. And the reason was that there was something which was keeping them there, which was easier than making the effort to actually find another job. In other words, a trade-off was taking place. And this makes us aware that at every single moment, each one of us is making a choice. And this is like, for me, a big realization for me personally, that at every moment, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, it's my choice. Now, some choices that we make are active and overt choices, but the majority of choices we make are passive or are covert. I'm making a choice on an emotional level, on an energetical level, without even realizing it. And it's those choices which are keeping me in the same set of circumstances, maintaining certain dynamics with people because I am simply choosing to be there. Now, why would we choose that rather than to commit to really bringing some positive change in our lives? And that's because to commit takes work. To commit takes letting go. To commit takes giving up and making sacrifices. Most people don't want to do that, or they will kick the can down the road and say, when I'm ready, I'll do that. Important to say, if that is where I find myself, then I should also accept it. If I feel I am not ready to commit to something, I first need to accept it by myself that at the moment I feel I'm not ready to commit, and then be at peace with myself. The worst thing is to feel I'm not ready, but another part of me is telling me, you should, and then allowing myself to be influenced by others. If I don't want to do something, I have to talk to myself and come to that point of realization that I choose not to do this, but I'm choosing something else. I firmly subscribe to the view that your life is a reflection of the answer that you are giving to the question, what do I want? Whatever I want, whatever I truly consider to be important and valuable, it is going to manifest in how I use my time and my energy. Energy management, time management is a reflection of my values management. What do I value in my life? And I think this is really the beginning of any kind of personal growth for an individual when they are honest with themselves. Self-honesty is the springboard to launch me into the next phase of my personal evolution. And one of the most powerful questions to ask the self in this context is this very simple question: what do I really want? Now, the answer to that may not come straight away, but it's worth reflecting upon it, pondering upon that question, just placing it into your intellect and allowing it to percolate. And then just writing down the thoughts which come. What do I really want? And then maybe a little while later, you just look at the things you've written and you add things to it as they pop into your mind. And then I think you would see a pattern forming, and it becomes clear to you, this is the direction that I want to go in. This is the direction I feel is right for me. And hence, a natural sense of commitment arises when you know what you really want in your heart. And there, it's not a forced or a pressurized situation, but it's like your passion. Your passion is arising from within you. And externally, people feel, wow, this person is really committed to this task, this project, this cause, because it's coming from the DNA of your soul. What happens then is you begin to look a little like this. So this is that same person who before had all these different ideas, but they were all dreams. He was a bit of a visionary. He was a dreamer, and he was not the only one. But here's the same fellow who's now racing very fast in the direction that he or she wants to go in. And so you can see all of these small arrows have now been magnetized and are all facing one direction. So whether it's the new language or the evening course he has done, or the new car, the new friends, the new job, all are going in one direction. And the reason for this is because this one big arrow, which is passing through him or her. It is this one big arrow which has magnetized every other part of this individual's life. And that's commitment. Every single thing within me, all of the different energies within me are now going in the same direction. And through that, you achieve progress. Now, what is that one big arrow? Well, that one big arrow represents focus, a focused mind. And what is behind being focused is being very clear about why you want to do whatever you are doing. Why are you in it? What's in it for you? What is your reason for doing whatever you're doing? If that clarity is there, then automatically a sense of focus emerges. And when your mind is focused, this really is the basis of overcoming the obstacles, the obstructions, the distractions which will come in your way. There's a very nice saying which I like, and that is that success respects focus more than it respects intelligence. So there are many so-called intelligent people out there in terms of IQ, but they're not successful simply because their minds are not focused. Too many options, too many ideas. And conversely, there are people who are less intelligent in terms of IQ, but because they're focused, they're able to be more successful, reach their aims and reach their goals. And so this brings us back to this whole idea of understanding what's going on in your heart. Do a little open heart surgery, check within yourself and see what is happening there, to identify what is at the core of your heart, and keep that in front of you to motivate you and bring about this energy of. Let me just touch on one or two more things. And this is about how do you get commitment from other people? So for example, if you're a team leader, doesn't have to be at work, could be for anything you're doing, the group of people. One of the things that we all want is we want people to be committed to the task, to the project, to whatever we may be doing as a group of people. But you can't get commitment from people by saying, I need you to be more committed. That can work for a short time, but then after a while, again, it'll be a lot of hard work to try and push people to raise their level of commitment. But there's a nice formula. I plus R equals C. What does that stand for? So involvement plus responsibility brings commitment. So if I involve others in, for example, a decision-making process, there'll be a natural sense of commitment arising in them. But if I myself make all the plans, if I do the headwork and say, here you are, do this, be committed, then he or she will feel, well, that's his baby, that's his task, and I'm doing it for him. So their commitment, their motivation may reduce. But if I involve others and say, okay, let's get together now, here is something we need to do. What should we do? What are your ideas? How can we handle this? It could even be for a family, just the family's planning to go somewhere. How should we go? When should we go? What are your thoughts? So naturally, involving others makes them feel valued, makes them feel important, and makes them feel that their opinion matters. Plus, sharing responsibility. Not just giving them a sense of responsibility, but actually handing over some responsibility. You're in charge of this part. You take care of this, you handle that. So when there's shared responsibilities, then naturally, again, a sense of commitment arises. And those of you who are parents probably have experienced this already, that how to get commitment, focus, and discipline from a child is to know how to bring them into an appropriate area of responsibility. And I'm remembering when I was at junior school in the east of London, I remember one very, very smart teacher, the way he would deal with unruly kids. There was one particular boy who was quite disruptive. He had a lot of energy, he just couldn't handle his energy. So quite disruptive during the class and making noise and disturbing the other kids. And so I was surprised that this teacher gave him an important responsibility. Something like handling, opening the door, closing the door, carrying certain things. And I saw how that kid transformed by taking responsibility. Now, he had a lot of energy. He had a lot of, ability in him, but simply he did not know how to channel it. The teacher knew how to involve him in responsibility, and that energy became very productive and constructive. And I think it's the same thing that we also have to do with our own minds. If the mind is unruly and disruptive, it needs to be given some sense of responsibility so that it moves in the right direction. And therefore, commitment arises. So involvement plus responsibility creates commitment or entices a sense of commitment. Second little formula, just to wrap up, is another quality which I think is very similar to commitment. Perhaps we could describe it as the cousin, the first cousin of commitment, and that is loyalty. And again, for those of us who work with others, we want people to be loyal to the team. We want loyal workers. We want those who'll be with us whether we pass through thick or through thin, whether we are sailing through the sunny days, the clear days, or whether we're passing through storms. We want loyalty also in our relationships. Think of how many people you know who really you feel are good friends. Probably count them on the fingers of one hand, but people are loyal to you, with whom you can also share your secrets. But how to get loyalty? Again, it doesn't happen by demanding it. I need you to be loyal to me. But the formula is T plus R equals L. That stands for trust plus respect equals loyalty. So if I show somebody a real sense of trust, if they feel trusted, and if I genuinely respect that individual, then they will be loyal to whatever I am doing, whatever we are doing together. Loyalty has to be earned. It cannot be demanded, cannot be manufactured. And so to be able to do that, to genuinely enable someone to feel trusted and to feel respected, I need a high level of personal dignity. I need a lot of self-respect. I need many spiritual tools to be able to overcome my own insecurities, which are all ego-based emotions. So hence the inner work, doing this inner work of reaching a place of emotional security, then enables me to really trust others and to respect them as individuals, to go beyond their job titles or their roles, to see the person who is behind the mask, behind the roles. And therefore, loyalty emerges and commitment emerges from people who are around us. So just to round off, in essence, as I think we always say in these studies and talks, the first step in generating or emerging any values is having a good self-relationship. Checking my own self. How do I feel about myself? Do I talk to myself? Do I listen to myself? Do I accept myself? Do I encourage myself? Keeping that going, keeping the positive, constructive, productive self-dialogue going. And the result of that is we can use situations as opportunities to grow. Every single day there are lessons all around us. But it's only if I have the awareness of being a student that I will be able to see those lessons and see the opportunity for enhancing the values in my own heart and also in my own life. So not entirely sure when I should stop speaking, but I'll take a chance and just invite Manoj Bhai in to come and guide me here.
Okay. So thank you so much. Just busy writing down the formula which you mentioned. It was fantastic as always. I plus R is equal to C, and also about loyalty as you mentioned. And yeah, it's beautiful that loyalty and commitment are so interrelated. I think you rightly said they are cousins of each other. Well, we have a cardiac surgeon with us who's joined. A very practical question, Brother Yogesh, is like he says he loves all these talks and workshops and loves to attend, which sometimes he doesn't get time to actually, because he's busy operating, doing all heart surgeries, which really take a long, long time, not just a 1 or 2 hour, but like 7-8 hours continuous surgeries. So he says, I have a lot of Lokik commitments. I really want to do meditation. Can you please help me how to find time for my spiritual commitment for the self? Among my busy.
Sorry, what's the last sentence?
Sorry, it was among my busy schedule. How do I fit in?
Yeah, I mean, the work that he is doing is, of course, very intricate, and he needs to be very alert and pay full attention to that. It's difficult to find time during the day if you have such a busy schedule. And so what we would recommend is if you can find a few minutes at the beginning of the day to start your meditation. Now, that may mean giving up 10 minutes of your sleep. It may mean cutting out a little something from your schedule. But this is the secret, that if you can start the day with a little bit of meditation, then it's a piecemeal. It's like you are feeding your mind with a deep peace experience first thing in the morning. And the science tells us that whatever you experience in the morning is going to stay with you for the whole day. If you have an experience of peace and stability first thing in the morning, as you pass through the day, when challenges, difficulties, problems come, you'll feel the impact of the morning meditation, keeping your mind more stable, keeping your emotions more cool, and your sense of alertness would also be high. And one reason we get tired, one reason, it's not the only reason, one reason we get tired is because we get pulled into what we call as action consciousness. We get lost in the actions we are doing, and so the mind gets just drained of energy. But if I'm able to maintain that state of self-awareness through the day, based on the morning meditation, then our karma, our action, becomes what we call as karma yoga. So you're doing the action, you're doing your job, but at the same time, your consciousness is light, is more free, your thinking is more clear. This takes practice, of course. And personally, I always recommend to people that if it's new for you, start with some baby steps. Start with a little bit, but do it regularly every single day. Experiment for 1 week and just see how you feel as you pass through the day. Second thing, just to add, is then how to finish the day properly. Now, this is another astounding thing, that how we've forgotten how to wake up and how to go to sleep, especially in the big cities. So it's very important to put the day behind you and to allow the mind to become free from the thoughts and the emotions of the day. So one way to do that is, again, a very simple meditation. Even if it's 5 minutes, 4 minutes, just consider the whole day to have been one big theater performance. And for today, the curtain has come down. You multiply everything by 0. Just allow the thoughts of the mind to come out. Let the mind be light, let it be easy. Then go to sleep in that peaceful state. And the sleep is also much more deep and restful when the mind has been put to sleep in this way. So I would recommend these two things.
Right, wonderful. And in the interest of time, I'll just take last one more question. As you rightly said, it's one of the saying as well that commitment is not really a word, it is an act. And it is what transforms a promise into a reality. So that is what commitment is. So do you want to share some or throw some light on this? That commitment is what transforms a promise into a reality.
Yeah, I think another way of saying it, or the way I would say it, is that you need that that sense of focus to allow the rubber to meet the road, as it were, for the theory to become practical, for the rhetoric to become real. Otherwise, it's like the person whose arrows are going in different directions. Ideas are there, but nothing becomes practical. Because there's no focus. So I think focus is a part of commitment, and that then leads to making the promise or making the idea concrete and bringing it into real life.
Wonderful, beautiful corollaries from rhetoric to real. And also, I think you nicely touched upon that focus is important for commitment and success. So I think we had Dr. Ashok Mehta, but for some reason he's joining from Madhuban. So there is some problem with his internet, I guess. He suddenly can't be seen now. And I'll request Sister Claudia now to please propose the vote of thanks. Yeah, over to you.
Shanti Yogesh, was very nice to hear you talking about this commitment. I think you really finalize what we need to understand and then be focused on it. So you brought all those points very easy to realize and to see with our eyes what is we need to do in order to become more committed with whatever we think, and even with ourselves too, to go inside and really ask the self, what do I want for my life? I think was very nice and clear the way how you talk, and it's so important. I was looking forward to hear from you actually, because I know you are very committed. The other ones were very committed too, but I was looking forward to hear from you, and was really fill up what my expectation was about what I could get from you today. So thank you very much for that. And thank you in the name of everyone. I'm sure that everyone really enjoyed today. Thank you.
Thanks for the chance. Thank you.
We will give you a chance more often to come. Hope you can commit ourselves in future as well later. I'm sure we'll just wait for the divine drama plan, but thanks so much. And I'll just quickly do the announcements where you can take us then in a deep meditation mode for 10 minutes. I'll just do the announcements, share the screen. Oh, again, it's a bit stuck. Sorry, I'll just have to redo it. Yeah, so as all of you know, today we are celebrating the World Youth Skills Day. And all of us are very young at heart, I must say, practicing Raj Yoga. So let me go further with the announcements again on this very day. So let's go further into the next value. I think a few people have touched in the workshop about dedication, very closely related to commitment and loyalty and trust, and even sacrifice, which Brother Yogesh mentioned. So we have a very dedicated soul, respected Asha Didi, joining all the way from Om Shanti Retreat Center. I mean, she's covered a lot of other, I remember DDs, determination, discipline. She was the one who had covered that, and dedication. I mean, I really don't remember when I think of dedication another soul, and she's another expert. Again, the same time next Saturday, 8 p.m. She'll be doing a solo talk, so please don't miss it. And followed by that, then we have the workshop as we are having today on dedication. And this is our new speaker, Sister Sonia Olsen from Denmark. Again, a beautiful speaker, a senior Raj Yogi from Denmark. And she also does a lot of work for climate change. She and Brother Golo, along with Sister Jayanti, are involved in this project. And she's joining us for the first time. So please also make sure that you don't miss this workshop the week after that, Saturday, 29 July. And as always, we finish the month with the value. We do the silence retreat on that. So many of you do join. So you can still join again the last Saturday, 29 July for West Coast time. It's 8 to 10 p.m. For India, it's early morning, not early, but morning, 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. Silence retreat on dedication. And I also forgot to mention that this month of July, as we celebrated the month of June, whom we fondly call Mama, the first administrative head of Brahma Kumaris. So this month is dedicated, actually, this episode of dedication goes to Didi Manmohini, who was also fondly called the Didi of the Brahma Kumaris. Officially is only one Didi, actually Didi Manmohini. And she was also one of those dedicated souls who really was called as the controller of the organization, not in a very negative way, the controller who looked after the administrative capabilities to such a great deal. And she was one of those beautiful souls. She left the mortal body on 27th of July. So we'll be sort of dedicating that episode of dedication to her. So please don't miss that. And this is our elegant calendar, which we always send you all in the emails. Thanks to Sister Kosha for that. You can reach out to us on our emails, valuesforlifeseries@gmail.com, and the Vancouver email at ca.brahmakumaris.org. These are our websites. And all these episodes and the workshops you can find out on the links which are mentioned here. And you can just simply type in YouTube as well, you'll find it out, all of them. So with this, I'll just stop sharing the screen now, and we'll be going in this deep meditation experience. I would request all of you all to just feel the experience of this, and will you do some commentary, Brother Yogesh? That should be fine. And you want to play some music as well, or you want me to?
Yeah, maybe you could. Will you be showing some image on the screen, or how would you do it?
No, I'll just show your drishti, and then you can maybe share the music audio from your. Is it okay? Because if you share the audio from your side, it doesn't get cut. Otherwise, there's a lot of disturbance usually. If that's fine.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do it without music.
Without, sure.
If that's okay.
Yeah, that's sure. Perfect.
Okay, so let's just sit with our back straight if possible. Just in a position of alertness. So we spend a few minutes just to be with myself. I'm aware the world outside of me is the world of sound, the world of movement. It is the world of action and of doing. And I cannot control the world outside. But there is also a world inside me. The world of my thoughts and of my feelings and my experiences. The world inside is in my own hands. So let me choose the thoughts I wish to create. And I start with the first truth. I ask myself, who am I? Who am I behind the roles I play every day? Who am I behind the labels that I carry? Who am I behind the masks I wear? There is more to me than what I do and what I have. And even when I look in the mirror, I see the reflection, my face, my body. But there is more to me than simply this. So I bring my attention to my seat of consciousness, the place where the energy of thought is generated. I come to the forehead, to the center of the forehead, and I am aware of myself as this wonderful, radiant, living star of peaceful light. This is I, the eternal self. This is I, the spiritual energy. I am this living diamond of peaceful light. I am eternal. I am light. I am peace. I am eternal. I am light. I am peace. Let me be with these thoughts and experience the profound feeling of well-being and freedom which comes by remembering the first truth. I choose to live with this first truth. Eternal light, peace, I am free. Om.
Thank you so much, Brother Yogesh. And I think I would request Dr. Ashok Mehta to say a few words. He's there with us. And Sister Anu, if I can just request in the meantime to take the photograph because I'm getting messages. They are committed to
I'm
the.
also getting. So everybody can switch on their video. Let's take the photo, then we'll hear the final words from Dr. Mehta. Everyone, you can switch on your video and let's make this moment of commitment memorable. Few people switching on their videos, then hold on. Okay.
Thank you. So
Yeah,
I'll just like to say a few closing words before we depart. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Yogesh Bhai. As usual, you're outstanding. You're almost formula for everything. The commitment, the loyalty, the focus. I think, as a matter of fact, I found that probably you were showing a solution to me. I often had that feeling of mind running up and down and all around. I think that strong arrow you have shown is always been there. And I think I should follow that. Thank you very much, Yogesh Bhai. You have been excellent, outstanding, loving, focused, committed in whatever you do. Amazing. Thank you very much. I missed some part. I missed some part of it, but amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your blessings.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mehta. And thanks to all of you. And we'll meet next week. Thank you so much.
Okay.